Growing up, my life rarely felt stable enough to confide in anyone. My name is Ethan Parker, and for as long as I can remember, I moved through life like a passenger watching someone else steer the wheel. My parents passed away while I was still young, leaving me under the care of relatives who did their best but never quite knew how to fill the emotional space I carried. Eventually, I found myself living with Linda Reynolds, a longtime family friend who volunteered to become my legal guardian when it was clear I needed more stability than anyone else could provide. Linda wasn't related by blood, but she treated me as if I were. From the first day I carried my worn suitcase into her quiet suburban home, something about her calm presence gave me a sense of safety I hadn't felt in years. Linda was in her mid-40s when I came to live with her. She spoke gently, laughed easily, and believed patience could solve almost anything. She worked as a librarian, which seemed fitting for someone who believed stories could heal even the deepest emotional wounds. She often told me that books helped her survive her own hardest years, and that now she wanted to pass that comfort forward. While Linda did everything she could to support me, I wasn't exactly an open or grateful teenager. I isolated myself behind headphones and homework excuses, rarely acknowledging her efforts. She never complained. Instead, she continued to encourage me quietly, leaving sticky notes with simple messages like, "Proud of you," on the fridge, packing surprise snacks in my backpack, showing up to school events where no one else waited in the bleachers. I pretended not to notice, but every small act mattered more than I admitted. By the time I reached 17, life felt heavy. Pressure from school, uncertainty about the future, and unresolved grief constantly weighed on my chest. I struggled academically despite working hard. Scholarships felt out of reach. College applications piled up unfinished. Anxiety became my unwanted companion. Linda paid attention to everything, even when I didn't speak. One evening after dinner, she found me sitting on the front porch staring into the darkness. "You okay, Ethan?" she asked softly, setting down 2 mugs of hot chocolate beside us. I shrugged. "Just tired." She didn't push. Linda never forced answers. She simply stayed. Weeks passed, and life dragged forward uneventfully until the afternoon everything changed. It was a rainy Friday when I stepped off the school bus and noticed a handwritten note taped to the front door. "Get ready. Sneakers on. No questions." Inside, Linda waited with an excited but nervous smile. Her eyes held the kind of shine I'd only seen when she talked about her happiest memories. "Come with me," she said. Before I could overthink it, we were driving across town toward someplace unfamiliar. The radio hummed softly. Rain streaked the windshield. I sat quietly, assuming this was just another spontaneous Linda adventure, something she did anytime she sensed I needed distraction. Soon we pulled into the parking lot of a large brick building filled with teenagers and families lining up outside. "What's this?" I asked. Linda's voice trembled slightly as she answered. "It's the local scholarship award ceremony." I stared at her. "I didn't apply. I'm not going." She reached into her bag and handed me an envelope. "Yes, you did apply. I helped submit your essays when you were stuck, and kept it anonymous so you wouldn't feel pressured." My heart thudded against my ribs. She hadn't told me. She hadn't bragged. She'd supported me in total silence. Inside the building, my name echoed from the stage speakers during the closing presentation. Ethan Parker, Community Rising Scholarship recipient. I was frozen to my seat. Linda grabbed my hand. "That's you," she whispered. Walking to that stage remains the most surreal moment of my life. Applause washed over me while tears blurred my vision. I accepted the certificate barely aware of how long I'd been holding my breath. After the ceremony, I collapsed into the passenger seat outside, overwhelmed. "You believe in me more than I believe in myself," I said quietly. Linda looked forward, steadying her voice. "I see the man you're becoming. Sometimes people just need someone else to see it first." That night, something clicked inside me. I realized family wasn't simply about shared blood or legal papers, it was about unwavering care when someone chooses to stand beside you even when it would be easier to walk away. Over the following months, I studied harder than ever before, not because I felt pressure, but because I wanted to honor the faith Linda had poured into me. Graduation came quickly. As I crossed the stage to receive my diploma, I scanned the crowd. There she was, clapping louder than anyone else. College took me to another state, but we never lost touch. Every Sunday, we talked about classes, coffee spills, homesickness, and the small victories of independent adulthood. Linda mailed care packages packed with handwritten encouragement just like those fridge notes from years ago. On my 20th birthday, I returned home to visit. Linda met me at the door, arms wide. "I have something else for you," she said, leading me into the living room. There, framed in silver, hung a photograph from my scholarship ceremony, the moment my stunned expression stood center stage. Beneath it, a small plaque read, "For the boy who learned he was capable of greatness." That was the true surprise. She hadn't just given me stability. She had given me confidence, hope, and belief in myself when I had none. Linda changed my life without grand speeches or dramatic gestures, only steady love expressed through quiet commitment. And from that day forward, I promised myself I would become the kind of man who never hesitates to lift someone else the way she lifted me. Because sometimes, the greatest family we find are the people who choose to love us when they didn't have to.